Hi everyone, Tori here with another scrapbooking process video. This one is called Remember This, and it's hopefully going to be a quick one because it's quite simple what I'm doing here. I am using the Studio Calico Galileo kit as well as the add-on paper pattern paper that I got for this kit. I'm scrapbooking two photos of my dad that were taken while we were on our Bolivia short-term missions trip. Okay, tonight is going to be one of those nights for voiceovers. I had a really long day. I've been sick and tired, and apparently I can't speak. So I knew that I wanted to use some of the words from that one piece of pattern paper that had all those words. Also wanted to use this cardstock that came in this month's main kit, and it has the word dad over and over again in multiple languages. But I wanted to add a frame to that, so I decided to use this like light blue paper because it matched. But I didn't want to just waste it all, so I'm cutting out or gutting the center of it so that I can use that for matting the photos and for other things. And I trimmed off about half an inch on the paper with all the words so that it would have a nice little border on it. And I'm going to speed this up as I add tape to it and stick it down. So I am using Copic Express It double-sided tape or score tape to stick it down, and I'm just adding a line all the way around that paper and then removing it, and then I'm going to stick it down. And then what I was doing is, I don't know what I was doing. I couldn't think tonight. It was a long day at work when I was making this page, and I got home and it was like 11:30, but I really wanted to scrapbook. So I started making this page, and then I just couldn't think. So I stuck down the score tape, and then I realized, oh wait, I wanted to use that little mini ink pad to add a blue ink around the edges, and that I had already pulled off the score tape. So then I had to like do it while it was sticky, so that's what you were seeing me do. And then the other huge mistake I was making here, I don't know what I was thinking. This layout is supposed to go in my 9x12 Bolivia missions trip album. Now, if you are looking at the page, it is not 9x12, it's actually 12x12, so it's going to be too big. And I completely did the whole entire page and finished it before I realized, oh, I was supposed to cut the papers down to 9x12 so that it would fit in that album. Did I do that? No. So it's not really going to fit in that album, but I still like the page. So I ended up deciding that this page will go in my regular year, like 2014 scrapbook. And I'll print off those photos again and do a different page to go in that Bolivia scrapbook album. Just funny and ridiculous, but that's the life when you are busy and stressed at work and then you try to scrapbook and you can't think. So I had two photos, a close-up of the baby that my dad was holding, and then a photo of my dad holding this baby. And this was while we were in Bolivia on a missions trip. We went and visited some people in their homes, and he was just holding this precious little baby. And it was just so sweet to see him holding the baby like this. And I wanted to remember it. So I took the photos, and I decided to use this title, Remember This, from that paper with all the words on it. And then what I had done was I took both of the photos and I matted them on the same colored cardstock that I had used for the trim of the background. I also grabbed a Project Life card that had a little tiny camera on it that said capture, I think, and decided to use the three of them like in a row. But they felt sort of weird in the middle of the page. They needed like a shelf to sit on. I think Mercy Tier always says that they needed a shelf, or it needed a shelf. So I decided to add a shelf with just a strip of blue polka dot paper. It's white with little tiny blue polka dots, and I'm just going to use that for my shelf. And then I'm going to put the photos and the Project Life card above that. And then the word Remember This will be the title, and it'll go underneath. And that's pretty much the totality of this layout. It was a really simple one for me. Usually my layout's a little more complex than this, but I wanted a simple, clean layout to go with the beautiful photos and the calmness that is sort of going on in the photos. So I added a doily behind the Project Life card. I added a pink chipboard heart, just to add a little more pink into the middle. And then I used that blue Glacier Ice ink pad to add just a little blue ink around all of the elements, like that white shelf, as well as the Project Life card. I'm gluing everything down using my hot glue gun and just sort of arranging it so it sort of makes a fanned out kind of section for those three things, and just gluing them down. And I love this photo of my dad and this little baby. I just think he looks so sweet, and that's like my dad. And even though he's holding some other baby, it makes me happy because it's like, aw, he must have used to hold me like that. That's cute. And then I wanted to add some extra pink because this is a little girl that he's holding, and everything on the page was sort of blue. So that's why I had added the chipboard heart, and why I also decided to add some buttons, and I placed 3 buttons at the top, 3 buttons at the bottom, and then I'm going to add my journaling. These buttons come from Studio Calico's Color Theory line. I also grabbed a couple enamel dots from the kit this month, and then I typed up my journaling on my typewriter, trimmed it down to fit, and then just stuck it in the bottom there. I needed it to stand out, so that's why I had typed it on something separate. And I just typed it up, and I just wrote about how, like, it's cute to see my dad like this, loving this little baby. Anyways, that's it. The page is done. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing. I hope you have a lovely day.